In this episode of Man vs. Marriage, it's open mic. Moo-ha-ha-ha-ha. The remix of the remix. That's number 3.
The podcast.
How good do you want your life to be?
It's truly about becoming the best version of yourself that's possible.
This is Man vs. Marriage.
The podcast.
And welcome to another episode of Man vs. Marriage. It's your humble host, the Q-Dog.
And Coach Rita.
Why don't I just let's go for that again. We're gonna leave it, but it's me, the Q-Dog, and
Coach Rita.
woo! There it is, right there. And I'm all jacked up. I'm all fired up, even though my cup of coffee has been poured out.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gone. Pour out the cup. Hashtag pour out the cup. I don't know if that's a thing, but we should probably make it one. Boy, that's just going to help so many people. So in this open mic trilogy here, we I made that up on the spot, Coach.
I
know. In this third kind of running in this series of open mic muhaha, we're not scripting this thing. We
No.
came up with, we sat around the table, and we like to be prepared, but I asked Coach Rita not to come in prepared because I want to give you a look behind the scenes at how we kind of develop these shows. And they kind of get developed based on experience and feedback, and there's just crazy stuff going on around us. And I'm sure you're no stranger to the craze right now for
Yes.
what's going on. But we, one of the first thing that, we kind of came up with is, what are you seeing? And it's like, people are just frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
They're just frustrated. Why? Why are we frustrated? So we kind of addressed that in the episode of Freddie Frustration.
Right.
And then the second thing we kind of came up with was, man, people really seem like they're overwhelmed. And it's almost like these are building blocks on one another. So we talked about overwhelmed, but we didn't come in with notes. I think I had 4 bullet points on frustration when I said, okay, Coach, let's stop and let's just go do this open mic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the raw style so we can put some things and some tools out there, maybe in the moment do some coaching so people can hear and identify in their life, am I frustrated? Why? Am I overwhelmed? Why? And then you can figure out, well, what do you actually want?
Right.
Right? Because we always go back to that. Lately, we've gone back to, what do you want? Why do you want it? What are you willing to do? And then what action are you going to take?
Right.
And that's kind of the theme that all this, we didn't even go over it in Overwhelmed, but we helped identify so you could define what you're doing and then redefine what matters and then take action.
Right.
So it's kind of like subconsciously we followed the pattern anyway. But I think that's the pattern we're starting to follow in our life, because we've come to this place where we set a new standard for ourselves, and we're not willing to take a step back.
Right.
Because we're not going backwards. We're moving forward.
Exactly.
And we're all in. We're just freaking all in. Life's too short not to be all in.
Right.
Right? So one of the next topics that we came up with was this just feeling like you're lost in the cycle. That, I'm going to do this, and then you find yourself not doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
One of the easiest things to point to, I think, in our life, in this day and age and what we're doing is like weight loss. Like, I'm starting that diet on Monday.
It's always Monday.
It's always Monday. I'm going to live out loud on Saturday and Sunday, and then here comes Monday, and by Tuesday, you kind of jacked everything up.
Right.
It's all for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of saying, you know what, I screwed Tuesday up, but Wednesday, I'm going to own you. I can't wait for Wednesday because I'm going to own the opportunity to start again. We kind of push ourselves to Monday again.
Right.
And then we start kind of justifying why we have to wait or why we should wait. I want to make it easy. I want to make it this. I want to make it that. Fuhubagots. So it's like people that are frustrated and overwhelmed, I've been there before. You just feel like you're stuck. And you can't move. Like you're lost in you're lost in the matrix, And I would just like to start pulling some of that wisdom out of you to help us Coach Rita, I'm putting you on the spot again.
You are.
Unrehearsed.
My mind's going like
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? If it was just in a general conversation, you would know like that. But there's something about
Something
a
about being
microphone.
recorded and having a microphone in front of
Yeah.
you. It's
Just
almost like, wait, I lost my whole train
yep.
of thought.
It's like when I'm at a manager's meeting and we're sitting around discussing our lines of business and somebody calls me and it's like, guys, where'd you go? What? Well, everybody left my brain. Where'd everybody go, man? Y'all come back. It's our turn.
Right.
And, sometimes your mind just goes blank. But that's okay. Don't panic, coach.
Nope.
Don't panic. We're just going to talk through it. And from this, people are going to be helped.
Right.
And from that, we're going to develop some more shows because the feedback that we're getting, we just need to help some people.
Right.
We've given many tools, but now it's like reality's hitting hard. At least it's hitting hard all around me. What about you?
Yo, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think this is probably one of the saddest things to see somebody who is stuck, who is stuck in that cycle of waking up, going to work, coming home, greeting the wife, greeting the kids, watch a little TV, go to bed, to do it all over again. I mean, that's what you hear a lot of people, to wake up and do it all over again.
Yeah.
And it is sad when you see that cycle transpire in someone's life right before your eyes, and they just feel, it's almost like seeing something lifeless before you.
Yeah.
Because they're just going through life instead of them living life. Life is living them.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get stuck in that cycle, the monotony of life, and to snap ourselves out of it and to, rearrange ourselves to get ourselves unstuck isn't always an easy thing, because it is a process. It is consciously making the decision of making different choices on a daily basis, that the outcome that I want is evident in the choices that I make.
Yeah.
Because we can get stuck in the cycle of how we're thinking, and we don't rearrange our thinking.
Yeah.
And we stay in those, just very destructive mindsets, very defeated mindsets.
Yeah.
Like, this is just what life is. These are the cards that I've been dealt.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than this. We could use tons and tons of excuses of what we tell ourselves as to why we're in the situation that we're in. Even when it comes to, like, what you were saying with health and weight loss, that's probably the number one thing of, this year, it's always the New Year's, resolution. I'm going to, lose 50 pounds, or, I'm going to start working out Monday. There's always Monday. And it's like, once we screw up once, it's like we disqualify ourselves, and we think we have to wait till the next year, to start back up again, instead of, just looking at it. Okay. Like, all right, it was one day. Tomorrow's a better day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to put forth the effort that I need to do in order to accomplish what it is that I set out to do. I think so many times that we start and we stop, we start and we stop, that we confuse ourselves. We get, that we don't even believe ourselves anymore when we say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to set out to do. It's almost like you're lying to yourself, and yourself knows it.
Yeah, kind of that thing of, you're telling yourself, I'm going to start a diet, and then there's that voice in your head, how long is it going to last this time?
Exactly.
How long?
Yeah.
I think that's evidence of being stuck in a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote down something here just a minute, because we have no notes, blank pages. Yep,
we do.
We have no notes when it comes to this episode. And I wrote down, are you stuck? And then under it, some things people say when they're stuck, in a question mark. Some things people say in a question mark. And I marked out people. And I just said, you know what? Some things that we say when we're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to point this light out. You want to point this light in and identify, what's my vocabulary to me? What am I saying? And what are you saying that, I've heard people say a phrase like, hey, how you doing today? No, it's another day. It's like, oh, What a crappy point of life.
Mm-hmm.
What a crappy point of view of life.
Right.
It's like, it's another day. What do you mean? It's an opportunity. Every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Thank you, Kung Fu Panda. Every day is a gift. So what do you mean it's just another day?
I just got that.
How many people don't have another day?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck are you doing with it? So what I want to know for my sake, what am I saying? What are you saying? You, listener, car, bike, gym, you, hey guy, what do you say about life? What's the noise in your mind when you wake up? Ah, great. Another freaking day.
Yeah, it's another day.
Just another freaking day. Or are you just excited to be alive? Because that's like one of my most common phrases. How you doing? I'm so good you'd be mad at me. Because I really believe that. I'm so good it ain't fair. And that's based on what I believe and what belief system I've built in my mind to look at every day as an opportunity.
Right.
And one of the things that impressed me the most, I was listening to a Shaun White interview with Ed Milet. And he talked about having the garbage run. Like he goes out, has a garbage run, and it's like, well, what happens when you got to go back and do the next one? Are you nervous? He goes, no, I'm not nervous. I'm chomping at the bit to go out there and do it again. I don't let a bad run hold me back. And I say that because that is a mindset of power.
Yes.
That's a mindset of, crap. I screwed up. It's Tuesday. I'm 1 day into my diet. It's Tuesday. I can't wait for Wednesday. I'm dominating Wednesday. Matter of fact, what time is it? At noon?
Right.
Okay, I'm dominating from 12:01 on. I'm not justifying myself out of this anymore. I'm going to make the decision to change. And I think it is like you said. I mean, you don't even trust yourself. So how do you build that trust in yourself so that you know you can count on you?
You start showing up for yourself.
You start showing up for you.
Yeah.
And like I tell my kids, that movie, The Patriot, you know, it's a saying that has lasted a long time with me. Aim small, miss small. Start with small promises. Right. Start rebuilding trust with yourself because the goal is to get out of this cycle. So what are some of the things that you say to yourself that tells you, here we go again? You want to identify those things because what you want to do is like, you want to write 3 or 4 or 5 of those down, wouldn't you say? I'm kind of taking this thing I'm hijacking this situation for a minute. If you write those things down, now, when those thoughts come, you can stop them.
Right.
And decide to think something different.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's totally fair to say because it's engaging that dialogue that has you believing that you're stuck.
Yeah.
It's that dialogue that has you believing that it's the same old, same old.
Right.
You know, it's the verbiage, it's the wordage, it's what it is that you're telling yourself. I know I was sharing with you just when we were getting ready and I was listening to someone who I haven't heard before, but her name is Mal Robbins, and I came across her on YouTube just listening to some other, stuff that I just listened to as I'm getting ready, doing my makeup, whatever in the morning, just getting some personal development in,
Yes.
And I came across her. Don't know much about her, but there's something that she said this morning that triggered something within me that this is so true. When we get in places like this, it's so funny doing this episode and then listening to these things too. It's like in life, when we're doing life and we get to certain points in life, we think that somebody or something, we're waiting for something, some intervention, some miraculous, I don't know, that it's going to show up. That this is like in your mind, you have it like this is going to show up. They're going to show up. This is going to come across my path. It's like we're waiting for something to show up. They're not going to show up. You're the one that has to show up in life.
Come on.
You're the one that has to take a stand in your life. No one around you is going to do this. and how she used this analogy is that when you're a child and when you're growing up, you have your parents telling you you're getting out of bed, you're going to school, you're going to do your homework, you're going to eat healthy, you're going to stop watching TV, and like, all right, that's enough being on the computer. You need to get off of the computer. Throughout your whole life, for if you want to say 18 years, you've had a parent there telling you what to do and what not to do and holding you accountable to it. And so she's using this analogy, and I'm like, all right, I'm tracking you. I'm following you.
Yeah.
So you're 18, you go out in the world, you're living life because you think you're all grown up and you got all your crap together. So, and no one's there telling you to get off the couch. You got to do this. Do your diet today. Go and work out today.
Yeah.
You don't be eating, pizza and drinking Coke, and, you need to go take a bath. You need to take a shower. You need to brush your teeth. You don't have people there in your life day in and day out telling you what to do. You have to start parenting yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you have to start coaching yourself through these things. Being stuck in life is because you've just sat there. And you're not telling yourself, get up off the couch. We need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, don't be waiting for someone to show up for you to do this. You got to show up. No one's going to show up for you. Like, no one's going to come busting through the door and get you off your ass and make you go to the gym. No one's going to do that.
Right.
Like, you're going to do that for yourself. Show up for yourself. Like, have integrity for yourself to get in the game of life. Don't just get stuck in these cycles of disempowering yourself that, life is life. This is what it is. I just better get used to it because I ain't going to get any better than this. Okay, then suck it up. That's your life. That's how you want it. If you want the life that you have set before you, and you say, this is what I want out of life, or this is how I want to be healthy, this is what I want to look like, this is what I want to accomplish, then you got to coach yourself. You have to parent yourself. What are you going to tell yourself day in and day out to be able to accomplish those things that you've set before you? You're the one that gets to dictate how you're going to live your life. Nobody else does. Nobody else gets to tell you how big your dreams get to be. You get to be the one to tell yourself. So you have to hold yourself accountable to those things that you want in life, and don't think that someone's going to show up and take care of all of it for you.
So
You
true.
got to parent yourself. Now, she didn't say all of that. I'm just using, the example that she used. And I just thought it was such a great example, because a lot of us do get stuck that we're waiting for someone to come and show up and drag us out of the circumstances that we're in, where it's you have to rise to the occasion and say that I am worth it.
Yes.
And rise above it.
Yes. And be all in at doing it.
Yep.
I just loved what you were doing right there, because I saw.
I'm all in.
I know. I saw your whole.
Because I am so passionate about, just waiting on, like, okay, I'll use this as an example. Waiting on God to show up. Waiting. It's almost like we put our lives on pause for him to come in this miraculous way, and everything is just going to fall into place. Okay, I'm not saying that cannot happen, but I'm not going to waste my life waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
That I think that, because I do come from a faith background, I think that I have the responsibility, I have the notion that I have a responsibility in this in order to see my destiny before me, that it's not like, okay, it's all on God to, figure this all out. Like, okay, I know he's big, but come on. Like,
Yeah.
where are you held accountable to that?
Right.
You just thinking just being on the couch and one day it's just all going to happen?
Right.
And then you're living this cycle. Why is all of this happening? Why does this keep happening to me? Just get off the couch and try something different.
Try something new. It's very true. And I think, if you don't come from a faith background, it'll be hard to probably understand this. But, I, like you, Rita, come from a background of faith, and you hear all the time, or you're taught growing up, God's in control and he's got this. And, all you need to do is just hold on, because he's going to come in and he's going to do it. Horse waste. It's a big steaming pile of horse waste.
Hope is not a strategy.
It is not a strategy. It certainly is an ingredient that will help propel you on, but you know what's going to work for you? To get out there and frickin' do it.
Exactly.
Get out and get to getting. That's what I tell myself sometimes. There's times to wait. There's times to get on to getting. You got to be in tune, with the universe, if you will. You got to know what time it is. But don't think that this miraculous happening is going to show up just how you think it is, because you've set an expectation, and one day things are just going to change, because that's not how life happens.
No.
It doesn't happen that way. It's important that you look, what are your habits right now? Whatever your cycle is, you either have habits that are serving you or habits that are sabotaging you, and whatever these habits are is the result of what you have in your life. And if you're stuck, if you find yourself in a place, you need to identify, what am I doing? And that's one of the biggest things for me. That's like, this is why I have got to live on purpose, and it's got to be for a purpose, because that purpose compels me to take a step when I don't feel like I can. I am a man of faith, and I have my faith in God. I think God's done enough. I think he's done enough. And now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to find this path, to walk this path out. And that path is a great destiny to set people's hearts free.
Well, that's what he empowers you to do.
It's what he empowers you to do. And what are you waiting on? You're waiting on something that's not going to happen, because you have to be personally responsible for your life. If you're waiting for somebody to come and save you and do it for you, then you're just going to build up resentment, and that resentment is going to affect every relationship in your life. If you don't know, if you're not from a faith background, but maybe you are waiting for something or someone to come and save you, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, restrap your boots, and get to walking. You're the only one that can do that for your life. You're the only one.
Right.
Just like with the overwhelmed exercise, it's time to write down what your habits are. And chances are, if you're stuck, your subconscious is running a program of habits that are not serving you.
Right.
So then you have to define what you want. What do I want? Why do I want that?
Right.
And what am I willing to do to get it? And what am I going to do in the next moment to start working towards that? That is what is going to help you get out of the cycle of being stuck.
Right.
And then, hey, what are you doing to make yourself a reliable person? What are you doing to make yourself someone who is resourceful? Because you need to be resourceful for yourself. And I want you to go about these things in a relentless way, because that's what's going to change and grow and develop you. And it's all you can do is focus on those things you can affect, and it happens today. There ain't a darn thing you can do about changing yesterday.
Right.
But if you want to look at where this cycle is, you've got to address what you're doing and what has you stuck there. And look, no harm, no foul. Maybe you are. Maybe in the back of your mind, you're thinking, something's going to come and save me. The fact is that you have the power embedded within you to do what's necessary.
Right.
And we do all need help, but nobody's going to step in like you need to step in for your life. Take responsibility and get unstuck. And I'm telling you, it's just getting new habits, making new habits on purpose. Make them small. Aim small, miss small.
Right.
Make them small and start building trust within yourself. And understand that in this moment where you're stuck, nobody needs to come and save you. Because what's going to happen? You're going to find yourself stuck again. You're going to stop.
Right.
Where's the resiliency? Where's the resiliency in our lives to say, stand up, man up, woman up, and let's start moving forward?
I think too, it's a sobering reality. And I think sometimes it might come off as though, what you're saying, you don't understand my circumstances, you don't understand where I'm at. Sometimes it's having that ability to really look at where you're at.
Right.
And if no one in your life has ever told you, I just want you to know that you are enough.
Yes.
Like, you are enough.
Yes.
You have what you have inside of you in order for you to rise to the occasion, because you're enough.
Yes.
You just have to believe that and keep telling yourself that I am enough and you're worth it.
Yes.
And I'll just tell this really quick story because it just puts things into perspective sometimes. When I was coaching, I won't use their name. I was coaching this person and circumstances happened and they moved out of state. And just a couple days ago, they happened to call me and, we talked for a little bit, and they said, there's something that I learned that I know that has helped me today, and I finally got it. And you have told me over and over and over again in those coaching sessions. And, I would walk away thinking that, doesn't make sense. Like, what she's telling me isn't true. And, that whole, whole dialogue that we go through to justify why it is where we're at. And, just talking to this person, they're like, I get it. It's all about choices. I get to choose how I'm going to think. My mind isn't going to choose for me and tell me how to think.
Right.
I get to make the choice of what thoughts I'm going to engage myself in, what thoughts that I'm going to pick to say, oh, that's true or that's a lie. And when she said that, everything within me, it's like, she got it.
Yes.
She got it. Because it is choices. It boils down to choices. What are you choosing to do differently today in order to reap that tomorrow? And you just keep at it. And your harvest will show up.
It will.
If you're planting oranges, you're planting orange seeds, and you keep planting it and you tend to it, it will grow and produce oranges. It's not going to grow and produce apples. It can't.
No.
So what is it that the seed that you're sowing in your own life, in the words that you speak, the things that you put into action today, what are those things that you're doing to really, really show up and get yourself out of the cycle that you're in? Because it boils down to a choice. It boils down to, what are you willing to do? Like, let's put everything aside. Let's just quit all the BS and just say, what are you willing to do? How big is your why? If your why is, I don't want to live in this cycle anymore. I'm so tired of being like this. Okay, what do you want to be? Tell me what you want to be.
Come on.
Lay it all out there and tell me what it is that you want to be. And then, okay, let's start hitting it. This is the action that I'm going to take. These are the things that I'm going to do. And it was, her action actually was engaging in that inner dialogue that was not serving her.
Come on.
And it's a choice. I know, like, before giving you guys very simple exercises, I know this isn't like overwhelming. This is what you need to do. Very, huge words and all of that. I'm not all about that.
We're not big words.
No, I'm not a big word person. It's so practical. Sometimes it's stupid because we overthink things and we think that it's going to take so much of this. It is going to take energy and it is going to take work to figure this out. It does. But when you are so like hell bent on creating something that you want, you will do anything in your power to get it. And you're the deciding factor. I'm not the deciding factor. You're the deciding factor to say, today I'm going to make a choice to know that I'm worth it and that I'm enough. To give me the life that I believe and I know that I want and that I deserve.
Yes.
And I give myself permission today to do that.
Yes. Nicely done. It's no simpler than that. And we're not a show about big words.
No.
We're not. And I'm okay with that.
Me too.
I'm okay with that because I think simplicity is bliss. You know, it's a moment in time for you to recognize that you do actually have the power within you to make choices to change your life. And to me, it's a beautiful thing. I just want to take a minute to circle back to the whole faith thing. I don't want people's brains to explode and think I'm anti-religion or any of that. I just don't think God is in control of everything. I think God handed me control to make my own decisions, and He is a major part in my life. He's a major part of the guiding factor in my faith. But I'm just not waiting for Him to do it. He did enough already. And if it's the universe you look to, the universe has done enough already. It's time for you to stand up. And like Coach Rita said, believe that you have what it takes. Believe that you're worth it. Stand up and let's do this thing together. We're not asking you to take this adventure alone. Matter of fact, we're putting ourselves in an uncomfortable position to show you that growth is possible. That's what we're doing because we're the product of that. Mm-hmm. That's what we've become. We understand life is about what you're becoming. And that's just the way I am. This is just the way I've always been is not who you have to be. It's just not.
Those are excuses that you tell yourself so you don't have to.
So true. So true. And I encourage you, once you get done with this episode, look for a guy named Ed Milet. Look for a guy named Dr. Joe Dispenza. Look for Mel Robbins and her TED Talk. And I think we ought to just push that out on Facebook so people can.
And Dr. Caroline Leaf.
Dr. Caroline Leaf. And man, you better have your ears on with Dr. Caroline Leaf because she gets down. She gets to getting. She really does.
Yeah. She uses big words.
She does. And I like that. Like I'll listen to Jordan Peterson, and he is such a well-spoken, he's a highly educated person.
Yes.
And I listen to him, and it's like, it takes me at times 5 minutes to catch up with what he said, but I like to challenge myself that way. So stretch yourself, challenge yourself, but no, take every word that Coach Rita said. I want you to chew it, digest it, and allow it to go in and start to nurture you and understand you've got what it takes. You're enough. Bro, you're enough. Let's get you back to a state of power so that you can start building that trust with yourself again, and let's get out of the cycle. Let's get out of the cycle. All right, Coach. I think that was another fantastic episode. And I'm just going to ask you, if something in this episode helped you, please share it. Please share it and share with us how it's helped you and changed your life or where you've started. What are you doing to get out of that cycle so you don't feel stuck anymore? We are here to help you. Go ahead and reach out to us via email. Do you know that this email is it's 10 miles long, but once you put it in, Google or whoever, just auto-populate it for you. Every time I look at this email, it's like, dude, could you have made it any longer? It's coach at manvsmarriagepodcast.com. That's coach at V like victory, S like success, marriagepodcast.com. Reach out to us on Facebook and, come join our group because that's where we're really, really starting to grow, that's where you can come and connect with us. And it's at MVSM Podcast. Because we bought it. We be about it. Don't we be about it, Coach?
We be about it.
All right. Well, we be about it, and then we be back for the next time to be about it. So until the next time, it is me, the Q Dog, and it's
Coach Rita.
and we're going to say good night
Night.
now.
The podcast. How good do you want your life to be?
You gotta live on purpose for a purpose.
It's truly about becoming the best version of yourself that's possible. This is Man vs. Marriage, the podcast.